Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Integers and Absolute Value Lesson 2-1 of your study guide, pages 29-30. Let's get started. As always, we're asked to scan lesson 2-1, or the lesson in your textbook, and list two headings you would use to make an outline of this lesson. So really we're looking for the focus. And when we look through the lesson, we are asked to compare and order integers and to evaluate expression including absolute values. So this is really the two focuses in our lesson today: to compare and order integers, which are numbers, negative or positive whole numbers, and absolute value, the number of spaces from 0 to the number, either negative or positive. Okay, so as you know, numbers like 8 and -7 are called integers. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. An integer is any number from the set of ... -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, ... where the ... means continuous indefinitely. It just continues on forever. So complete the graphic organizer. Let's describe what an integer is. Let's describe it. So they're whole numbers, such as 1 or 2 and 2, and their opposites. Remember, the opposite is the opposite of 1, -1. The opposite of 2 is -2. Those are integers. Well, now let's do the picture. Are these integers, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, are they integers? Yes, they are. So I label them all as integers. Now let's list some examples. At this point, you can write any numbers you want, positive or negative. So like -6, 10, 0. Remember, 0 is an integer. List some non-examples. So it's not just good enough to know what it is an integer, what is not an integer. Integers are not decimals or fractions. A half, it's not an integer, or mixed numbers, 7.5. These are not integers. They must be whole numbers. Alright, I'm just having a little fun, just to make things a little more interesting. Okay, our key answer is right here. Put a star right above this guy's head, right there. Continuing on. When we talk about integers, we also have to be able to identify which integer we're talking about based on the vocabulary. For example, 2,972 feet above sea level on Mount Wilson Trail, California. Above sea level means higher than sea level, right? So are we going up or are we going down? Well, we're going up, right? So that one would be your right answer. You circle it. Let's see the next one. 33 feet deep in Lake Denton, Florida. So now we're not above sea level, now we're going down. We're going deep. So which one would be the right one? 33 feet less, right? Negative. Okay, continuing on. Okay, on the next page, which is page 30, we're going to work with inequalities. Okay, these are all inequalities. When the number is not equal, you either use greater than, or less than, or greater than to relate them. Okay? So go ahead and we're going to fill these out. Pause the video now, please. Pause the video now and try these on your own. Okay, go ahead and pause. Okay. Now, boys and girls, if you didn't pause, you're just doing yourself harm. Okay? Please try it on your own. Again, there's one more chance for you to pause this video. If you didn't, you're just causing yourself harm by not trying to challenge yourself. Okay, let's see. Let's fill them out. 0 and -3. Well, definitely 0 is greater than -3 because -3 means you're in a hole. So 0 is greater than -3. Number 2, -10 or 0. Yeah, -10 is definitely less than 0. Now, -1, -4, -1 is greater than -4. And -19 is less than -17. If this doesn't make sense to you, please ask me, okay? Ask it when you come to class, and we will work on this together, okay? Continuing. Okay, for the next question, we're going to talk about the word drought. And many of you already know what the word drought is, simply because we've experienced a drought in Venezuela in the last 4 years. Because of a drought, the water level of a river is 3 feet below its normal level. Use this information for exercises 5 to 7. 3 feet below, meaning -3, right? Less. And some of you have seen how the dique in Guataparo has really gone down over the last year. It's gone back up again, but it's really, really been affected by the drought. Look at these images of the California drought. You can see how much it really dried up. the lake, and that's the same lake from before, right there. And look at this, here's a little bit more. These are just a web page. Look at that. Okay, that's what a drought will do. We also have dams where these dams are normally for electricity. So we need this water to generate electricity as it goes through here. But with the flood, with the drought, the water disappears, so there's no water coming down to generate electricity. So that's another harm a drought can cause. Now going back to the lesson, the integer blah blah represents the situation. Well, -3, right? Because the river level of the river went below, went down. So it went down by 3, -3. So we put negative there and 3, right? It represents this situation. The opposite of this integer is 3. So that means it would go up by 3. You can write +3, or you can just simply write 3. We know it's a positive number and it doesn't have a negative in front of it. What does the opposite of the original integer mean? What does that mean right here, the opposite? Well, the opposite means exactly that. If here it went below by 3, it's -3. If it goes only 3, it means it went up above. The water level is 3 feet above the normal level. Okay, and finally, at the bottom of page 30, let's talk about absolute value. Model absolute -2 on the number line below, then find its value. Okay, let's use this number line here and let's label it. Okay, so go ahead and label it as I've done. Pick the middle number as the 0, and you have -1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 this way. Okay, and when I actually identify what -2 means, it means it goes from 0 to -2, right there, from this line to this line. Okay, so we have 2 units, 2 of anything. Okay, and what is the distance from 0 to -2? Well, it is 2. So our value is 2. That's what absolute value means. Okay, how many numbers do I have to jump from 0, either in the positive direction or in the negative direction? That's what absolute value means. So explain how you can use a number line to find the absolute value of a number. Well, we begin at 0, like we did here, and count the number of units to the number. And we know that we have 2 units, and it was -2, right? So we just counted the number, and that's our absolute value. There are 2 places, 2 place values. And finally, this is the part where you write a 2 to 3 sentence summary on your own, and I guide you. I can give you some hints. Remember that a lot of the time it's in here too. It says here, how confident, in here, how confident are you about integers and absolute value? Okay, well that's what we learned. We learned about integers and absolute value, so you can write that in here. But what did we learn about integers? We learned that integers are whole numbers, negative or positive. And what did we learn about absolute value? Absolute value is the distance from 0 in any direction, in positive or negative. So you can go ahead and write what I just said down right there. Okay, boys and girls, I'll see you in class.